Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Constitutionalist. I'm your host, Ammo Dog,
I'm Charlie 556.
and we're glad you guys could join us. Look, before we get started, if you would, check us out on X, check us out on YouTube. This is what we do, and we enjoy doing it, bringing some of our ideas over to you guys, some conversation, and we look forward to it every week, and we hope you guys do too. What a crazy series of events that's been going on, right, Charlie?
It's nuts. The whole world has gone to hell in a handbasket.
Tell me about it. What, from anti-Israel rhetoric the world over to Biden and, well, I'll let you take this with Biden's recent comments. I think that was just today, wasn't it?
It was just today, and it all coincides even with a couple of shows ago when I said, the one thing that I hope with this conflict is that Israel does what the hell they need to do. They can listen to whatever ideas that the administration or the advisors have, but at the end of the day, Israel needs to do what Israel needs to do, just like any other country should take care of their own. And lo and behold, here we are with a president and an administration meddling in their affairs, trying to get them to hold back on this ground invasion. And I think the ground invasion is imminent. It's been that way for about 2 weeks now or something like that.
Right. Gutfeld hasn't been shown because it's imminent.
Yeah, exactly. Like we like our Fox News and our Newsmax. We like looking at that from time to time. And for whatever reason, every night at the same hour, all the other shows are on, but they feel like the ground invasion is going to happen whenever Gutfeld comes on. So we haven't seen it in another, I don't know.
It's been days. Yeah, it's been some time.
Regardless of that, yeah. So the Biden's on a press conference earlier today, and he's talking. He's being Biden, but a reporter asks him about whether there should be a ceasefire or not. Biden responds, "There should be a ceasefire. Well, no, we need to secure the hostages first, and then we'll talk about that." Last I heard, it's Israel that got attacked and maimed and raped and all kinds of other disgusting stuff, and Biden saying, "Well, we're going to talk about that."
Right.
I mean, that's what, and it's the fear that I had is coming true. They're holding them back. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. If they're dangling some type of monetary aid or anything like that over their heads, saying to hold off.
Right.
And I understand that we have American hostages that are behind enemy lines right now. That should even be more of a pressing matter. Can you imagine if Trump was in? It wouldn't have happened to begin with. But let's just say, under some crazy circumstance, that it did.
Right.
Trump would be losing his damn mind. He'd be like, "We do what we have to. You get them hostages the hell out of there and destroy that whole shithole."
He'd be showing every Hamas member an aerial footage of their house.
Which right now is what would probably look like a crumb cake.
Your Excellency, why are you showing me a picture of my house?
You'll find out.
You gotta love him. Gotta love him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I cannot for the life of me, Charlie, figure out why. And it's not just with this recent invasion. When it comes to Israel. We always seem to have some sort of power over them. They are a sovereign nation. We know they can kick ass. We've seen it.
You'll see it again.
Exactly. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't know why they allow themselves to be held back. And maybe it is. Maybe it is the threat of pulling funding. I mean, Lord knows he's not Zelensky. So.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not. Netanyahu, God bless him, he's not the world's greatest panhandler like Zelensky is.
Maybe we can send him a Zelensky mask for Halloween.
Oh,
Then he'd get all the funding he needed.
Right. Well, another idea is, it's not even an idea, they're proving it every day. This administration is scared beyond belief of Iran. I don't know what the hell the deal is. They are scared to death of them.
Right.
They contradict themselves left and right. One day, we haven't found any information. There's no evidence whatsoever to support that Iran has planned or funded the attack.
Anything
on Israel.
to do with it?
Yeah, there's no evidence that Iran had anything to do with those damn drones that are headed to our U.S. service members every day. There's no. But then again, you turn around and you see the news reports out there,
mm-hmm.
And different members of the cabinet and the State Department have growing fears over the escalation of Iranian involvement, and all signs point back to Iran. Which one is it, you bumbling morons?
Right.
I think it's the latter.
So do I, dude. And look, we were talking about this just right before we went on. The CBP sends out this bulletin.
Yeah.
Warning. Huh?
That was just today.
That was today.
Okay.
This is the third such warning in as little as a week of the exact same warnings. Now, this one was an alert that went out that's warning Border Patrol agents. But look, if they're worried, I'm worried. And about either Hezbollah and Hamas or sympathizers to those two coming in through our southern border and possibly wreaking havoc on our soil. So we say it at the end of the show all the time, but we're going to say it in the beginning. Stay strapped. Right. Keep your head on a swivel. Not trying to frighten anyone, but these bulletins are doing a good job of that as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'll tell you, we've mentioned it before. I don't have a whole lot of concern where we're located up in the Cumberland Plateau and the Tennessee Mountains. But I know a lot of you aren't in a secluded area like this. And hell, even here, we don't let our guard down. So just keep your eyes peeled. If you see something, shoot it. No, I'm just kidding. If you see something, say something, and be just be alert and be safe and look out for one another, like we always say. What we got, the world has gone crazy, as we said, with this anti-Israel rhetoric. In this country alone, what about the ridiculous stuff going on at Harvard? You've got this Harvard club, they call themselves the Palestinian Solidarity Committee, and the Harvard Graduate Students for Palestine, and they staged a die-in. What's a die-in again?
Now, where they all lay around the grounds and
pretending to be dead.
Yeah, just to cause
that's
disruption. Yeah,
that you can only learn that in an Ivy League school.
Oh yeah.
But
that's what they're busy teaching them.
That's at Harvard Business School. So what they're doing is they're obviously protesting, screaming at the top of their lungs, flopping around like fish on the ground. They're basically putting the blame and the responsibility for the Hamas attacks on Israel. And then when they're pressed for more information, of course it's silence. We try to be forgiving of college students and the age that they're at, and
just stupid kids in general.
Right. I mean, God, we were all
kids
young.
Do dumb,
yeah, we were all young, and if I could go back and change shit, Lord knows I would.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. So try to be understanding, I guess. Because maybe in about 5 years they're going to be looking at themselves. Going, what the hell was I thinking?
I thought just that haircut was bad.
I know. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, these are the same kids who don't know whether they're a girl or a guy from one week to the other. So
yeah, but the whole time it's those institutions that are helping to coddle.
Oh yeah,
that fear. On one aspect of it, fear the white guy, fear the rich guy, fear whatever, fear the conservative.
Sure.
They're all out to get you. On the other side, when it's actually some dangerous organization that actually wants to cause havoc and has a thirst for blood,
right?
Let's all support them. I can understand throughout the world. I get it when I see Paris, Belgium, London,
right.
Australia, all the likes of them. It's mostly a Muslim-based crowd.
Right.
That's chanting and waving their flag. They're going to stick together. They're always. We don't. Your only ally is Israel. Saudi Arabia is not your ally. I mean,
right.
they're your business associates. That's about it. But they're not your friends.
No.
And so I get where they're doing that. But kids on American soil, to me, that's all it is. It's stupidity. It's whispering something enough, and finally it's going to be truth, no matter what. That whole aspect.
Yeah, say something over and over again.
Right.
It's going to become true.
And it's not all colleges. I mean, my college. I think if they had a wind of that, they probably would have stomped that into the ground.
Right.
But yeah, especially these Ivy League institutions. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's sickening to see.
It is, man. And then if you go from college kids to the weird crap celebrities are weird anyway, but like the Hollywood idiots that are afraid of being canceled for showing any support of Israel. To name a couple, what's her name? Kylie Jenner And look, I've never watched a single episode of anything having to do with the Kardashians or the Jenners, but she had posted some support. I think it was like an Israeli flag or something on her Instagram.
Right.
The girl's got like millions of followers.
Mm-hmm.
And she said something like, to the effect of we're stand in solidarity with Israel and look at my Israeli flag. Well, after that, just crazy backlash, is what she got. So what she ended up doing was going and deleting that. And that's a shame. Someone wants to voice their support for obviously a country who is wronged, who experienced death and destruction.
Unprovoked attack.
Yes, unprovoked attack. And, a celebrity wants to show some support for that, and they get burned, so they go ahead and they delete that. Check this out. There's another guy, and I'm just going to be honest. I never heard of the guy. His name is Josh Gad, but apparently he's an actor. He put an expression of sympathy out for Israel, and immediately had a bunch of threats and equal backlash going on. So he went and apologized on his whatever social media he was using. Dude, this guy is the grandson of Holocaust survivors.
Right.
And he felt a need to apologize for his support of Jews over in Israel.
Hell no.
And if his grandparents are around, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to look at them in the eye.
It's got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, after doing something like that.
You know what my favorite one is? And I saw, I'm not being ugly, I saw the pictures of this. It's like Queers for Palestine. So it's gay people,
right,
for Palestine. What happens to them over there?
Yeah, I think they get a bird's eye view of the top of a roof and then quickly get a worm's eye view of the ground. They toss them off to their death.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get it. I mean, you can feel for the people. You can have signs saying pray for the innocent on both sides, whatever.
Sure.
But that,
right?
Golly,
yeah.
Like, man, it just goes to show you they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just following suit.
I was thinking about something. I was just talking about the Hollyweird bunch, and got me thinking about Mel Gibson. Remember some years ago when he was driving around in Malibu drunk off his ass and he got pulled over, right, on Malibu Highway or whatever it's called. And anyway, he gets charged with a DUI, but not before going on this crazy tirade of like complete anti-Semitism,
Right.
And he's just blasting this guy who, if my memory serves correct, he had a similar name to a Jewish person. And Mel picked up on that, and then he chose that moment to freaking go off on him. So, look, did he deserve some backlash over that? Yeah, probably. But he freaking got blacklisted from Hollywood, like, on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know, it's probably his publicist that made him do it, but he went on this big apology rant, and he even met with several rabbis, important rabbis, around the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And he publicly apologized. And at least from what they were saying, they accepted his apology.
Right.
And they were happy that he did it and sort of buried the hatchet a little bit. Well, he was still blacklisted from Hollywood. If the man wasn't wealthy beyond means from all the success of his prior projects and films, he probably would have been screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But he had the money to continue on with different things. And I think we were talking about it just for craps and giggles. If you're ever watching, particularly early 2000s and before, if you ever see like a movie, in the beginning of the movie they show what production company it is, like Clint Eastwood, it's Malpaso. His is Icon. It's got like an eyeball and it looks like something that would be Leonardo da Vinci aged.
Yeah.
It's like a painting of an eyeball and it's called Icon. Well, that's Mel Gibson's company. And like I said, if he didn't have that, then I'm pretty sure that he would have been out on his ass.
So he would be praised today, I guess.
Well, see, and that's kind of what my point was.
Yeah.
Back then, it's like the left just ate his ass alive. And now these same groups of people are doing pretty much, they're being just as ugly as he was.
Yeah.
And some of the things they're saying, some of the signs that they're holding up, just, I don't know. It's almost like there's these weird trend sitters.
Yeah.
Setters, not sitters, that I don't know. It's like bell bottoms. What it's in today and then it's out tomorrow. You know?
Right, but it just spreads over the entire.
Yes, and if you choose to make waves, and basically if you stand behind your own beliefs, then you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
If they're different than the crew. So I don't know.
And it's spreading from different, like we talked about in the colleges and the universities.
Right.
It's going on in Hollywood. And then on a more serious note, that poor that little boy and you remember the little boy that was murdered last a week or so ago, and he was attacked by the crazy landlord.
Yes.
And
Stabbed.
it was a Muslim mom and her son, and he sadly passed away. I think the mom was injured.
Right.
I think his funeral was happening when his poor mother was still in the hospital trying to recover. So horrible thing, and they say that it had to do with what was going on over Israel, Palestine, and probably so. There's nuts everywhere on both sides.
Right.
But on the other aspect of that, there was a poor woman, I think, in New York, and she was high up in a synagogue,
right, in the Jewish community.
Yeah, in the Jewish community. She was murdered, but
Yep.
almost immediately the same day. Oh, there's absolutely no evidence of anti-Semitism. It had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not an investigator. I wasn't there, but it's just damn odd. Add it to one more thing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's poor Palestine, and yet if you're Israel Jewish or something, already got an eyebrow raised, and I just don't understand.
I don't either,
but
look,
closest allies in the world.
That's absolutely right. Historically too.
Yes.
Right. Just forever. And along those same lines, Charlie, is the hospital that got hit, right?
Yes.
And Hamas was the one who said that Israel did it. And every single news media company out there took the word of Israel, and not just on television. I think it was like the Washington Post.
Hamas or what?
They took the word of Hamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said Israel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Took the word of Hamas. Yeah.
How dare they take it? Yeah, exactly. They took the word of Hamas, and I was reading. I guess if it's not the Washington Post, and Washington Post happens to hear this, I'm sorry. I just can't remember who it is. But whoever this newspaper, it was one of the big ones,
Yeah, it's one of those ass bags.
Exactly, one of those rag writers.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had to retract their story. And to their credit, they're like one of the only ones that has.
Well, it's kind of tough when representatives like Tlaib, she still has it on her social media.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That Israel did. She will not remove it.
Right. And she knows better. And everybody knows. They knew better that, it was almost immediately that it was proven that it was not Israel that hit that hospital.
Israel even had the intelligence agency even had the soundbite of the telephone conversation between the two Hamas agents.
But what kind of world do we live in where you're just going to take face value the words of known terrorists? It's just bizarre.
It is.
And like you said, I think it's only because it's Israel.
Right.
And I think that is, I don't know. I don't understand it. I think it's weird. But to your point, Tlaib, or whatever her name is, she still says that Israel bombed it. It's still on her website?
Yeah, I think it's her ex or something.
On her social media. Yeah, still claims, I think she knows better. She just refuses to take it down, and if anybody tries to question her about it, she breaks out running down the hall. And she was crying like a moron over the loss of life at this hospital, and it was the freaking terrorists the whole time, as everyone, but obviously seemingly her, knew.
Right.
And the media, they parroted all that. And speaking of Tlaib and the squad and all them, I want to talk for just a second about these, 300 plus people that stormed the Capitol the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Not insurrectionists?
No.
No way.
Mm-mm.
Good guys.
Yeah.
Good guys storming the Capitol that day. Yeah, look, we got guys and girls that are sitting in prison that has not even had a trial yet.
Right.
They're just sitting there
and
rotting away.
If they had a trial.
Yeah, then they're getting the book thrown at them.
Right. So much for your constitutional right on cruel and unusual punishment and
well, I think we're going to get to the Constitution here in a little bit.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But, so you got 300 people and 300 arrested, so probably more that stormed the Capitol. They were screaming demands for an Israeli ceasefire. Mm-hmm. And how that's not insurrection, I have no idea. But
It doesn't fit the narrative.
Exactly. It does not. I mean, we have an idea, but it's just beyond me that they take everyone as such stupid fools that, as if we will not see this and put two and two together.
Right.
Look, it may, you know what? Some of you out there may be thinking, like, man, what certifies these guys to go up there and have this podcast and spew all this? And the simple answer to that, what gives us the right to do this, is that we're American citizens. And they would have you believe that you're too stupid to know. The only time you're smart is when you go vote. That's when you're babied. The second you vote them in, they drop you like a hot ass rock, you know? And, but to us, we're just concerned citizens who choose to voice our opinions about things like this, about things that we see, about the difference, which is none, between people that did what they did on January 6th and people that did what they did on, earlier this week?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was last week?
Right.
Storming that Capitol the way they did. But somehow we're too stupid to know the difference. And that's just a bunch of nonsense.
Well, it's also the fact that they covered that story for, I don't know, I wouldn't even say a whole day.
Yeah, true. And then it gets buried.
Yeah. Meanwhile, when January 6th happened, it was the worst thing since 9/11, and it was catastrophic.
Oh, yeah. It still gets talked about today.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I'll tell you, just kind of to your point about burying a story, that report that I read or that I discussed about Hamas and Hezbollah, possibly bad actors coming in through the southern border.
Right.
I saw that this morning, and it was on Fox. When I went back to just look at it before we came on the show, before we started this episode, it was gone. It was nowhere to be found. Yeah. But you know what is there? Freaking Taylor Swift and her budding romance with that freaking idiot.
That football player.
Yeah, whatever his damn name. I don't even know. Every single solitary day that will be in there.
Be careful.
But can I find the same report that's warning of terrorists coming into the country and possibly harming us? Hell no, that's long gone.
Right.
I don't know. Biden's visit to Israel.
Oh, yeah. What a peach that was.
Yeah. He goes there, visits Israel to show his unwavering support. And while he's there, he gives Hamas $100 million. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, shakes your hand with one hand and smacks Netanyahu in the face.
That's right.
Other, pretty much. But don't worry. Even though, how much was it? How much did
$100 million?
We pledged $100 million. Don't worry.
To Hamas.
Yeah, because and also the supplies, the humanitarian aid.
Yeah.
That finally made it through the border. Don't worry though, because the administration says that they feel they have an understanding that Hamas terrorists is not to use that for what they need. It's to go to the suffering people. So don't worry. They said there's an
I will sleep like a baby tonight knowing that. As far as I'm concerned, they have $6.1 billion.
Yeah, exactly. That's $6 billion coming from
Iran.
That Iran.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And then on the home front, we got another warship heading to the Mediterranean. I'm not sure how many that makes. 3, 4?
Yeah, well, at least 3 or 4 because there's one heading up or that was heading up the Suez Canal.
There's like 2 or 3 strike force carriers, right? Each of them having a whole freaking.
There's a Marine Expeditionary
unit
that's heading there too.
That's
not
right.
Already in place. That's the latest one.
Right. So they got like 2 or 3 strike group carriers heading over there, loaded with warplanes and 8,000 sailors apiece. And then the latest ship that they sent over there to the Mediterranean is acting as a command and control ship. It's like a tactical command hub. And so they're going to be directing, right? They're going to be directing any kind of combat operations that take place over there. But don't worry, because no American boots are going to go on the ground over there.
No, except for the ones
that doesn't sound like a build-up at all.
Right. Well, again, Lloyd Austin he's deeply concerned that escalations could arise through Iran, even though they have nothing to do with any of this. Remember that.
The contradiction.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And also, and I think we kind of touched on it, but these these drone attacks that were going on at the exact same time that Biden was handing $100 million to Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
You had these in different locations in Iraq and in Syria.
I think they're intercepting them every day, just about.
Yeah. These are the ones that they report on.
Yeah.
But guess what else is not in there anymore? This very thing I'm talking about right now. That's there today. I'll tell you what. I think it was Tuesday that I saw this story of these drone attacks that are attacking American soldiers in multiple locations in Iraq and in Syria,
Mm-hmm.
right? These were supposedly intercepted with 0 injuries to U.S. personnel. I pray to God that's the case, and I'm thankful to God if that is the case. However, our officials won't say one way or the other who's responsible.
Right.
And I think now that's the story that came out Tuesday, and then today we hear that fingers are pointing at Iran for different things, but there's no evidence that these drones are being sent by Iran. And this also coincided. Actually, let me backtrack for a moment. I said it was going on at the same time that Biden was there. That's not true. It was going on at the same time that right after the hospital got bombed. At that exact same time the same time the hospital was getting bombed, we had drones heading over to our guys in Iraq and Syria.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Very weird stuff going on. A lot of tight-lippedness as far as I'm concerned. Like you said, scared shitless to try and point the finger at Iran. They'll tap dance around it, but when it comes down to saying, you know what, we know that it's them, they're not going to do it, at least not yet. And then part of another thing with this is there's some evidence, and this was an Associated Press release. They were talking about the possibility or likelihood of North Korea providing weapons to Hamas, right? I mean, let's think about this. They're being funded by Iran anyway. So Biden gave them $6 billion. Right? Then he was like, I'll cut out the middleman. I'll just give $100 million straight to Hamas.
Right.
Why
not?
So, like I said, they got about $6 billion, $100 million, and then they don't even have to spend, at least not on RPGs, because North Korea is sending it to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's all this. There's talk about they're looking out for China and Russia to see what they're going to be doing. At least they tell us they're looking out for that. But who knows?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
It's funding the proxy war in Ukraine, giving money to both enemies, Iran and Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you do, Israel, do not send your ground forces into Gaza to start ending this thing once and for all.
That I can't believe.
Now's not the time. Now's not the time. It's been time.
Yes.
And and time is definitely not on our side. It's on the side of our enemies, and that does include Iran, Russia, North Korea, China. Though that's the alliance. Everyone that you just mentioned is the enemy alliance.
Yep.
And if you think that that's not all connected, then then you might as well go play dead with the other dumbass college kids at Harvard or whatever it is.
You're right. And I was sitting here thinking too, and maybe this is our tinfoil hat type stuff, but just the timing of everything. Sometimes it's just if you take a breather and you think about the timing of Hamas attacking Israel. What did you have going on in the news at that time? One of the things was impeachment inquiries, right, for Biden.
Oh, yeah.
You had that going on. That was about to get up and running. You had...
Until they ousted McCarthy.
Right. That was the first thing.
Yeah. Well,
that was
you oust the speaker, then
the inquiry stops.
Congress just stops.
Right.
So...
But yeah, so... I mean, just look at this for a moment, and you make your own minds up. We're not saying this is the case, but we're certainly not saying it isn't the case.
Yeah.
You get speaker chaos going on, right? Matt Gaetz goes in there, and for whatever reason, and now I know what he said, but I don't think we'll ever know the true reason why he got rid of McCarthy the way he did. I know what the lip service is on TV. I see that. He didn't follow through with his promises to gain our vote. So now he's got to be removed, which is the first time in American history that this has ever happened.
Right.
So gets rid of him, and seemingly without a plan B, a part two to this plan. So now you got this vacuum there. It's been what, a couple of weeks now, and we still don't have anybody. We've had two guys that tried to. You had Scalise that tried. He couldn't get the vote, so he bowed out. And then you had Jordan doing it 3 times, and he was going to go for a fourth, and they just removed him from the ballot altogether.
Yeah.
They took his nomination away. So now I think there's like 10. There's like 10 possible guys that are throwing their names in. It's just complete madness. So that's going on. It throws the GOP agenda into haywire, you know. It just throws it in like a wrench into the system. Anything that they had planned, or that we as the American people had planned for them to do, is out the window right now.
That's any investigation
yes.
that they had planned on the Biden crime family.
Yep.
Conveniently, that $200,000
I was just thinking
check.
that,
That $200,000 check that
the loan repayment.
The loan repayment that Biden's brother hooked him up with. Yeah, of course, none of that can be looked at. And
supposedly Joe Biden lent his brother this money, and this was, what's his brother's name? James? This is like James paying Biden back for the loan that he gave him, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so
what a perfect time for that to come out.
Exactly.
Because the one federal body that would be interested enough to look into it is in chaos. And normally I really wouldn't give a crap, because I would look at it and go, you know what? It's one big branch of government that really can't screw anything up right now because they're in haywire. And normally I wouldn't care, but it's the fact that they talk about the government shutdowns and whatnot, and I understand that it has an effect on the military. They have to, they get paid eventually, but and then there's the federal employees that
they get furloughed.
They get sent home until it gets resolved. But for most of the American people out there, I mean, you get up, you
we know who still gets paid though.
Yeah, yeah. The Congress,
Senate, President,
all those guys,
Vice President. Zero stoppage there. But anyway.
But so most of the American people, I mean, you're going to get up, you're going to make breakfast, send your kids to school, you're going to go about your daily routines.
Right.
They make it sound like, oh, God, it's the end of the world. The government's going to shut down for a few days. And let the states run themselves the way that it was intended, and let those morons in the swamp figure it out. But
exactly.
Any other time I would think that, except for, like you said, magically.
Right.
Whenever the ball gets rolling, didn't have any issues when they were investigating Trump on all that bullcrap. Everything went smoothly.
Oh yeah, without a hitch.
Yeah, it's
and even part of the investigation and hearing was going to be on the investigation of the dropping of the gun charges for Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
all of this stuff, and then you had also another inquiry or hearing or something on Biden's mishandling of classified docs.
Yep.
Right? All of that was about to happen. And next thing you know, we don't have a speaker in the House. And then while that's going on, Hamas invading and causing chaos. Again, I don't know. But we've said this before on this program. When you see this big thing, this big ruckus going on, and you just can't tear your eyes away from it. Oh my God, look,
it's just plastered on all news media.
Yes, it's on the airwaves, and on your radio and on your phone. Oh God, look at this. Try to take 2 seconds and look the opposite way. See what was going on just before this big atomic bomb of crap that you're being told is the utmost importance. There's typically something else at play. It's something that this large thing that they're throwing in front of your face is meant to conceal.
Oh yeah, that's how
that's been their game forever.
Yeah, that's how they get some of their favorite bills passed.
Yeah, no kidding.
In the dead of night when you're not paying attention to it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think speaking of this speaker chaos crap, the endless amount of candidates that are now throwing their freaking hats in the race. While all this is going on, while they hold hostage the business that we want them to get done, they go ahead and say, oh, well, it's the weekend. Let's head home.
Yeah.
Get this figured out and get our country running again, just like you're paid to do, like you're elected to do. That's why we put you where you're at. They're only there because of us. And I don't know. It just burns my blood, dude.
It just gives the opposition one more round of ammo to put in their bullshit gun.
Exactly.
Because not even the opposition. Well, it is still the opposition, but you see Liz Cheney on TV,
yes,
saying, this is not surprising, and
oh my God,
yeah. Well, I tell you what was surprising was probably when you had to call and concede your lost election, wasn't it?
No crap.
So
couldn't happen to a better sow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. It's it's a damn circus.
It is. 3-ring circus, and you're all invited.
Yeah.
You're a captive audience in all this. So I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, though. The name of this program, we call it The Constitutionalist, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up Constitution. I think with all the chaos that's going on in our country right now, and you hear us up here bitching about it, we're not alone. Every single one of you are doing the exact same thing. But I don't want it to take away from something. There's a lot of division going on in this country. And it's not just Republicans and Democrats. If you look at the speaker chaos, it's infighting within the same party. I'll tell you what, Charlie here, he put on a uniform and he served his country. I did the same thing. And
many of you out there did.
A long line in our family have done that. And I'll tell you what, we have a deep love for this country. If we didn't, we wouldn't be so concerned about it. We wouldn't be highlighting what we think are sometimes these veiled and not so veiled attempts at destroying it. It seems like there's no other way to put it. But oftentimes I take measure of everything that's going on, and I look back and I think about, man, what would those founding fathers think about what's going on right now? What would they think about this country that they themselves created and the supreme law of the land that they framed and that we live by, or we're supposed to be living by? And I don't know. I love history. I love American history. I love this country. And I don't know. I feel a closeness with these group of men that decided they were going to try something different after winning independence from England. And I can't imagine what was going through their heads. I can't imagine the fear of the unknown, their responsibilities to this fledgling nation and its citizens. They wanted to make sure that the same thing that befell them did not befall future generations, and even the current ones that were amongst them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's sobering. It's very sobering. It gives you chills, and if it doesn't, then it should. You just have to simply put yourself in their shoes, and just the love that they had for their fellow man to make sure that they had a safe place to call home, and also that justice and the pursuit of happiness is what could be afforded all of us.
For generations and generations.
For generations to come, yes. I don't think in their wildest dreams that they could have imagined what this nation became. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in this sense. I mean it just the opposite. I don't even think they would realize how great,
how successful
and powerful that this country would become. I don't think they realized that it would become the beacon of all nations to look to, whether they love us or hate us.
Yeah.
They can't help but look to us. And true to that, there's a lot of countries out there that, at least in some way, shape, or form, try to model their democracy after ours. So I don't know. I know one thing. It seems like not enough people look at the Constitution and to really look at what their rights are, and to read the way the words are crafted, how careful the words are crafted. That way, well, in their mind, there would be no room for misinterpretation.
Yeah.
But probably one of the most misinterpreted, or I don't know, maybe, is the Second Amendment. You know, that they try to,
definitely.
yeah, they try to, gotta, they, they gotta twist it. Just if we can just tweak it a little bit, But so I don't know. It's just I think if we don't know our rights, then we don't know when they're being whittled away. If we don't know what this country gives us, what kind of existence, then we're not going to know when it's taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to, I don't know, we're just going to follow suit, follow the herd, is what my fear is. And when they change it little by little, we're not saying you can't have a gun, you just got to have a permit to have a gun.
Yeah.
Look, we're not saying that you can't have a magazine. We're just not going to let you have as many rounds in that magazine, And they change it and they change it, and you get mad, and they let it kind of simmer down a little bit. They don't take away their changing of your rights. They just leave it and let you get mad about it, and then until you get used to it, and then they do a little bit more and a little bit more until the next thing you know, you don't have shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my take on it anyway.
So. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, and it's not just the second. I mean, even going into the first,
Mm-hmm.
every time that White House press room tries to silence Peter Doocy, and even the fake news people, when they dare ask something out of the norm, out of the context of what Joe Biden is capable of answering.
Right.
Oh man, they'll shut him down quick. And it's not even Democrats. Like I will slap down thee if you have an R after your name or a D. You see
Right.
Lindsey Graham's dumbass
Yeah, I was
today?
just thinking about him.
Oh
yeah.
my God! So Lindsey Graham is over there with a bunch of other yahoos who they're just not important enough to remember for me anyway. But a bunch of other senators that are
Right.
out in Israel to show their support, and there's a Newsmax.
I just got to go to Israel.
Oh yeah, isn't that amazing? Governors. I didn't know governors had diplomatic agendas.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
weird. It must be a part in the Constitution I didn't read. I thought that was.
And I can
thought
only assume you're
diplomacy was
talking
the
about
federal government.
Gavin Newsom, right?
Yeah, Gavin.
The only cool thing about that is while he was gone, then they.
Oh yeah, that federal judge finally slapped down that unconstitutional, and I'm putting my finger quotes in the air, assault weapons ban was
Right.
finally slapped down. So good people of California can finally buy their AR-15s again.
Yeah.
and
He was madder than hell too while
Oh,
over
I
there.
bet he
Wasn't-
was.
Just he had to wait till he got home and remousse his hair and then try
to
to
calm down,
I know.
figure out
So,
Plan B. But yeah, so Lindsay's over there, and you know, this I can't think of the guy's name. The reporter, he's with Newsmax. He's on the ground
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
He's embedded with a lot of the IDF men and women, and he asked Lindsey Graham directly. He says that, now, and mind you, this reporter is an Israeli American himself.
Right.
That's probably why he's there.
mhm.
He asked, he's like, this is great. It's a great show of solidarity to see, members of the Senate here in support. What I don't understand, though, is why we don't get this same type of action back home. Why are we allowing so many people to?
Yeah, and he was talking about Tlaib.
Yeah,
not
Tlaib,
not
yeah.
taking that.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
Tlaib, an actual member of a governing body to just, they were, God help them, they were on this misinformation crusade just a year or two ago over
Right.
coronavirus and election fraud and all this other nonsense. But now all of a sudden they don't care so much about misinformation. It's on both sides. So
And it is.
when he asked that, yeah, Lindsey Graham lost his damn mind
Yeah, he did.
to the point of requesting that Israeli security have him removed, have the reporter removed.
Yeah, and they ignored his ass.
Right? Yeah. So thankfully, members of another country's security team thought, you know what, the good old, we'll go ahead and respect the U.S.'s Constitution and let freedom of the press.
I'm glad somebody does.
Yeah, no shit, because it ain't happening here. So it happens on both sides, and it's now. Of course, he did. He did immediately after he cooled down. He apologized and he said, "Well, I'm an American, and I that was wrong of me." And
yeah, and then he bragged about being a supporter of the First Amendment.
Just not in that time frame.
Just not with you over here in the tie.
Not when it pisses me off. God, he's such a. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that dude to begin with.
I'm not either.
I don't like his flip floppiness that he was with.
He's
Trump.
a windsock man. He blows with
fair weather Trump supporter, and
wherever the wind blows, that's where he's at.
Exactly. So I don't know.
Windsock Lindsay.
If y'all want to keep him Israel, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Send us one of y'all's. Probably more patriotic than what that moron is.
Oh yeah.
What a shame. Yeah.
Yep. So. I don't know. Lot going on. I guess we can get to where we wrap this up right now. We're coming up on the hour, and we want to try and keep it about an hour or under if we can. We appreciate every one of you guys. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to come on here and yap a little bit. Next week, we're probably going to have a guest. This individual is someone that I served with, that I deployed with. I've known him for a very long time. So we're just going to sit and have some conversation about what his take is on what's going on in the world. He recently retired. He probably got a little bit more accurate of a finger on what's going on in the military than what I do, since I retired in 2014 and he just retired like a few months ago. So anyway, we look forward to bringing him on, and Charlie knows him as well, and he's a pretty good guy, and we look forward to having him.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, so it'll be the first guest, and we'll see how that works. But you got anything else, man, you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I think that's about it. Again, whether it's crazy terrorists trying to sneak over the border or not, buy a bunch of guns, buy a bunch of ammo, go out and shoot, go out and learn how to shoot.
Absolutely.
It's your right.
It is your right.
And it's also your duty as a patriotic American.
That's right.
You got to protect the other parts of the Constitution. Protect the first, you got to have the second. Protect the third, and so on, you got to have the second.
Amen.
So, get out there, enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Charlie's been hunting every day.
Yeah, it's been a tough damn season. I'll say that, but we're just getting started. The rut's just upon us here in beautiful Tennessee and other parts of the world. So all you deer hunters out there, shoot. Send us an email. Send me an email. Let me know how it's going for you.
Yeah.
Give me some tips, because obviously I suck this year. I don't know what I'm doing. So.
That's right.
No, I just say stay frosty, kids. Just watch out.
Yep. Stay strapped. Look out for one another. Look out for yourself, your family. Help those in need, and we'll get through this together. That's all we can do. We appreciate everyone. We'll see you next week. We'll see what the topic's going to be next week. We've toyed around. Maybe that's something you can let us know. We've toyed around with the idea of maybe having like the last. We go every week, so the last Monday of each week we'll have
each month.
Each month we'll have maybe a different topic that has nothing to do. We bombard you with all this stuff that everybody worries about. Maybe we can have a lighthearted end of the month podcast, and who knows? Maybe it'll be a UFO story or a paranormal story, or maybe it'll be a tinfoil hat conspiracy story.
Some of those aren't too lighthearted.
No, they're not actually. Yeah. But I don't know. They're a little more unproven than what we've been reading today.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anyway, again, we'll cross that as we come to it. If that's something you guys would like and you care to drop a line, let us know. Then we'd gladly love to hear from you. So, anyway, once again, take care of one another. We'll see you next week, and God bless. God bless the United States of America, our amazing troops. And we love y'all.